your Thursday daily delivery. I am Michael Rand. Glad to be back for another day, and I hope everyone is having a great day out there today. Happy opening day of the State Fair to those who celebrate. I've got a bunch of appearances. I will detail those at the end of the show. Great day to get out there today. It looks like it's a little less hot, beautiful sunny weather. Always a good time out there. And I hope you guys will enjoy all that the Star Tribune has to offer. The new Minnesota Star Tribune out at the revamped Minnesota State Fair booth. Great show today, by the way. Lots to get to. Josh Minott from the Minnesota Timberwolves will join me here in a little bit. Had a chance to catch up with him earlier this week at a Timberwolves basketball camp. He was out there with a bunch of kids, showing them some drills, doing some stuff. So had a fun conversation with him. I will share that with you here in a little bit. Got some Twins and Lynx stuff at the end of the show, towards the end of the show. Good wins for both of them. Maybe more than good. On Wednesday, Lynx beat the Las Vegas Aces. Twins salvaged the last game of their series against the Padres, ended their road trip on a positive note, 4-3 overall. Can't argue with that, so they can go back to Minnesota off day today, feeling good about that trip instead of having the sour taste of those 3 straight losses in their mouths. First, though, what did I miss? A little something different on the show today. So the other day, I got an email from a parent of some kids who have started somewhat of a pop-up wiffle ball league in their South Minneapolis neighborhood, and I was admittedly intrigued. I get a lot of emails, but not all of them kind of hit like this one. If I may read verbatim from part of this parent's email. It says, "In the era of iPads, Fortnite, and Messenger Kids, there exists a real-life Sandlot in a small enclave in the Kenny neighborhood of Minneapolis. The Fremont Avenue Wiffle Ball League, FAWL, features all ball players of all genders and ages, well, under 13 at least, and the small association plays on a perfectly sized, semi-lit backyard field of dreams. With freshly painted lines, scoring by younger siblings, iron-on jerseys with last names, mandatory singing of the national anthem, and, of course, a recently sculpted trophy, the kids of summer are reminding us what America's favorite pastime used to be." I'm getting nostalgic reading this, right? I'm thinking about some of my own youth, which I'll talk about here in a minute. I'm thinking about my own kids, and I'll talk about them maybe a little bit more in a minute too, and just kind of what this kind of impromptu, but also, becoming bigger than it is, event means to a neighborhood, means to kids, and how much fun it sounds like they're having with it this summer. It's not the kind of thing, too, where parents are largely staying out of the way. They watch from the home run porch, but they're not, getting involved, solving too many disputes. They're letting the kids kind of run this thing and jumping in when maybe when they need to give a little help if needed. It just sounds like a classic block with a bunch of kids, home all summer, looking for something to do, looking to make something big. Got an email from another parent, same league. One evening, with about 8 kids in our boys' bedroom, they wrote out a wiffle ball league rulebook with participants, teams, brackets, and a data log. This is kind of the origin story of the league. The field opened in April, at least that's the first documented picture, and they've been out there every week, rain or shine, playing, doing field maintenance, designing strike zone stands, individualizing their team stats, painting baselines, fishing out balls from adjacent yards, in the weed gardens and underneath the deck, and doing home run derbies. Find out that they've even got walk-up music for all of the players, including one who walks up to the song, I'm a Banana. I clearly needed to know and get to know some of these kids a little bit better, and I did that earlier this week.
So to all of you, first of all, welcome. Thank you for taking a little bit of time here to talk to me. I just want to know kind of first, how did this whole thing kind of start? How did this league start up and start playing so often?
So first it started because we were like bored, and then we found my toolbox, and then we started cutting down vines, and we made like this little like dugout kind of thing. Then we turned this into a football field, and we removed the slide from the tree house.
Then you play pretty much every day, is that right?
Around that, yeah. Yeah. It started we did little for fun games last summer, but like about July, we started doing games and like making teams. To paint the lines, it takes like 5 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah. And then to mow the lawn takes about 20.
Okay. So do you do that? How often do you have to keep the field in shape like that?
We usually do it once a week or twice a week.
How do you figure out like the rules? You got to decide if it's a single, it's a double, who's out. How do you decide the rules for the games?
So how we did it was, because this is a neighborhood that we live in, obviously. So like there's a little thing under the home run deck, and if you hit it in that, that's a double. And like if it doesn't go in that, we can kind of like just figure it out from there. Like a home run is on the deck.
We have this deck here. If we hit the wood, if you go over here, we have to like figure out if it would hit the deck or be a double.
That's a double. That's not a double.
Single?
That's a single.
Fine, single.
Stella, this could not be a double.
How do we decide if there's disagreements? How do we figure that out?
Usually, have an umpire, and then usually we can figure it out. Sometimes it's pretty hard. Yeah, but
You get like a do-over, or do you just like say, "Oh, okay, you're right. You just got to figure it out."
We have one home plate umpire, and then we have one like infield umpire.
Okay.
It's usually people who aren't playing the game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
How many people are usually playing? It sounds like there's a lot of kids in the neighborhood. I mean, I'm seeing 8 of you right now. How many kids are usually playing?
4 people play a game and 2 people on each team, but not everyone in the neighborhood plays with us, but pretty much everyone does.
As I talked to the kids, I really got a sense for how much this all really is meant to them this summer, with the highs, the lows, the joys, the pride they have in it. But I think my favorite part was probably when I asked them each one by one to tell me, what is it about this league that you had the most fun with or will remember the most?
My name's Amelia. I'm 11, and the thing I liked the most this season was just like, even if we had like arguments, we always like figured them out somehow and like work together. My name's Stella. I'm 11, and I like the community and how we're all committed. Like we'll go to each other's doors knocking, just trying to get everybody, and everyone will always want to. My name's Cruz. I'm 9. My favorite thing about it is when we're arguing, and then eventually, like when we're arguing, someone says something, and then like everyone starts agreeing to one person. Well, my name is Ellis, and I'm 8. My most favorite thing I liked about the league was that we got to play a game, and it was really fun. And I usually got to be the umpire and the scoreboard.
I'm Liam. I'm 11. I think my favorite thing that I'll remember is having just great times with a bunch of my friends in a backyard, just making a pickup league.
My name's Robbie. I am 7, and my thing that I will probably remember is our jerseys. My name's Eddie Lloyd. I am 10 years old, and the thing I'll probably remember the most about this league was probably hitting a home run off the bounce. My name's Owen, and I'm 10, and I think I would remember, like, everyone coming and then, like, playing a game would kind of always just, like, no matter what happened, it would be fun.
That's what it's all about, right? I mean, we've got our kids signed up for soccer. They just signed up for soccer this week, started. All 3 of them just had their first practice this week, and it was great. I love the idea of them being in that. They're getting exercise, they're meeting new friends, things like that. Organized team sports are great. Unorganized team sports in your neighborhood are even better, though, right? A lot of times you just get to play with the neighborhood kids. Our kids the other night had a little wiffle ball game of their own with some of the neighbor kids, just like, hitting the ball around, a game they like to call bat and ball, for lack of a better word. And those are the moments that you really will remember as you get older. Like I think back to my own childhood. I think back to growing up playing baseball in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And I was in multiple leagues a lot of summers. I played probably from age 7 until I was 16 or 17. I was playing every summer. Like I said, a lot of times on multiple teams. I couldn't get enough baseball. Some of my favorite memories, though, are a game that 4 of us played, just pick up almost every day for a couple of summers. Lack of a better word, we called it pitcher, hitter, catcher, fielder. I think you can kind of understand there was 4 of us. Each of us occupied one of those positions. We just kind of rotated. I don't even really think we kept score necessarily. We were mostly just looking to hit home runs. Played with the tennis ball because we were around a lot of buildings, a lot of apartments. We all grew up in apartments. The bases were trees. You'd throw it, if you fielded the ball, you'd throw it, and you had to hit the tree to get the runner out. Home run was either the sidewalk to straightaway center field. There wasn't really a right field home run. We were all right-handed hitters, pull hitters. Straightaway center, or the upper deck, which was the slanted roof of a pretty low-slung kind of apartment complex roof in left field. So when we played, like I said, almost every day, and I still remember the feeling I had when I hit my first upper deck shot. So, the nostalgia, the thinking about that, it all does come back, and, these memories do last. Now, for these kids, their championship series concluded this week. Spoiler alert, the Yankees won, though at least this time it wasn't all about their payroll. State Fair started today, school, the end of summer, not far behind, but don't worry, the big plans and good times haven't stopped for the kids of the Fremont Avenue Wiffle Ball League.
We were thinking about, doing, in our neighborhood, my school, it's named Annunciation, and they have a football field there. So, we are planning to go up there and play, an all-star game, a home run derby, and probably do an extras game. Yeah, where you can invite a player. Mm-hmm.
And then we were also planning on doing a fall ball league. We'll see how that turns out with people's schedules, but that was our hope.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed that. Really, stirred some memories for me. Maybe it did the same for you as well. Maybe it wasn't baseball or wiffle ball. It was a different sport, but just growing up, playing with the kids in your neighborhood, having a good time, making something bigger than it was so that it became part of your kind of core memories, part of what you will remember about your childhood. And again, if you guys have other story ideas for me, other segment ideas, always open to it. Can't promise, we'll go big with it. Can't promise it'll always get used, but it will always be heard, and it will always be considered at the very least. Now, like I said at the beginning of the show, had a chance to catch up with Josh Minott from the Timberwolves the other day, and just kind of looking for a unique approach. Here's a guy who's, hasn't played a ton in his first 2 years. He was a second-round pick a couple of years ago by the Timberwolves. He's got a lot of potential, though. He's got a lot of promise. Here's a guy who maybe this year gets a chance, gets a little bit more of an opportunity. Wolves still look pretty deep, pretty formidable this season, but depth will be a big deal. Like spots like 8 or 9 through 11 or 12 on the roster don't always show up right away if everybody's healthy, but do play a role as time goes on. Josh Minott could be one of those guys who has an outsized role on this year's team if he keeps progressing, keeps playing the way he has in flashes. Kind of a fan favorite already, even though he doesn't play a ton. And so I hope you enjoy my catch-up with Josh Minott the other day.
So I'm going to do this interview a little different than most you've probably been involved in. I went through your Instagram feed. You don't post a ton, but you post some. I'm going to use your Instagram captions as prompts for what we're going to talk about today.
I got you.
So your most recent post about a month ago, it looks like it was from Summer League maybe.
Yeah.
Like late July.
Yep.
You're out in Vegas. Caption says, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me, I know what that means to me. What does that mean to you?
So, for me, I feel like since the dawn of time, my name's always been like, mispronounced, blah, blah, blah. Minott, Mino, whatever. And then it got to a point where I'm just like, man, almost a slogan I can tell people to remember it is, why not, why not? So, I haven't trademarked it or nothing like that, but maybe I should for somebody to beat me to it. But yeah, what it means to me is just, why not me? Why can't I, go out and be everything I'm supposed to be? So, and then on top of that, it's just an easy way for people to remember how to pronounce my last name. So it's kind of like that double meaning.
Do you feel like this year is kind of your time? Like some of the young guys, it's like you kind of been waiting. Is this your time?
Yeah, I've been staying patient. I'll continue to be, if need be. But overall, I'm just ready for any opportunity that I do get, for sure.
Okay, next caption says, if I told you what I've been through in 21 years, you wouldn't believe me. You got your head down, you're standing up, looks like it's during the national anthem. What does that mean to you?
Well, that was just my birthday post for starters. Okay. But I've been through some ups and downs, man, to get to where I've been. So I'd say it's a lot, between I guess, quote unquote, dealing with success and just trying to be the best person, son, father I can be. It's been a lot in 21 years. So, I kind of kept it bland intentionally, but there's definitely, it's been a journey for sure.
Does that kind of stuff just hit you like on a birthday, stuff like that, when you think about just your life to that point?
I'd say so. Not even my birthday for real, because I don't really celebrate my birthday too much. I spent my last birthday in Memphis. We were playing Memphis, so it's I wouldn't say it's more about the date, but any, I guess, significant time in my life where I can just just take a step back and just look at how far I've come. It's always a blessing. I just got to thank God, and I'm just blessed to be where I'm at.
Longest I've ever been employed, NGL, not going to lie. You're sitting there in a chair in a Wolves uniform.
That was a meme, man. That was just funny. I got everybody liked that one. Everybody, they thought it was funny. But, it's true, though. I never had a job, really. I had a summer job before for, I think I might have worked there for 3 weeks before I just had to throw in the towel. But yeah,
I've had jobs like that before. It's okay.
Yeah, so that was, I'm just letting people know, man, I haven't really had no job. So, it's still a job in a day. It's the most fun job on the planet, but, it's still employment. So just letting, people know in a fun way, it's the longest I ever had a job.
I know there's a lot of big personalities on the team. Do you cut it up with those guys? Are you one of the funny ones, one of the more fun ones?
They voted me. What was it? It was free. It was the Goofy, or no, it wasn't Goofy. It was what was the award they gave me? It was a class clown or something.
Oh, yep,
yeah, it was class clown was what I was awarded, which I still think is pretty crazy. But I think I've been known to be one of the funny characters of the team.
Okay. Two more. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. I think that was Vegas a year ago. Do you remember that?
Yeah. That was just, man, just a quote for real.
Yeah.
That was I just heard that quote. I've been heard that quote since a kid, obviously. Everybody's heard that, but I don't know. I kind of just want to throw it out there, let people know, just give them a piece of wisdom, I guess. There was not really anything significant going on. I was just maybe a little philosophical real quick. Yeah.
Do you like to Do you like to mix it up with people in the comments? Do you like people to kind of like see that side of you?
I mean, I might, have like a funny one, like longest I've ever been employed. And, I might drop a quote or, maybe a song lyric or anything, but, sometimes I'll just get bored and just drop an emoji or something when I'm just bored or something. I don't know.
Okay, last one. I think this is from your draft news conference a couple of years ago. You got pictures in there. Maybe I don't know if it was your parents. Who's it with? It just says, "Just a kid from Boca."
Yeah, that's just like the sentimental, man.
Yeah.
Like just remember where I came from, and that's where it started out, man. I'm just just a kid from Boca, and nothing too special. Just put the work in and was able to accomplish what I wanted to. So, I kind of euphemized it a little bit.
Yeah.
But overall, I just in a, I guess, a simplistic way, just saying, where I'm from.
What's it like to be here now, where you are?
There's no better feeling in the world, honestly. I'm just trying to be as thankful as I can be every day that, I have the opportunity, to play the game I love, as a job. And, this has always been the main goal. It's been my plan A since, I basically hopped out the womb, so for it to be a reality, it always feels great for sure.
Shout out to Josh Minott, right? He just got done with an hour of a basketball camp, comes up to talk to me, and I throw him a curveball, right? It's not just regular questions. I'm digging through his social media. Had that idea actually by talking to another reporter the other day. They were like, hey, something I do from time to time is, when I'm planning for a feature, I like to look through someone's social media, get a better sense of who they are, the things they like, maybe outside of sports, things like that. And it's definitely something I've done before, and maybe I haven't done enough of it lately. So I was like, let's apply that to Josh Minott and see what happens. So I find his Instagram, and again, he doesn't post a lot, but when he does, it does seem like it has some meaning. So there comes the idea to let him essentially interview himself from his captions in Instagram. So hopefully that worked. I think we got a chance to get to know him a little bit better through that method and through his very, detailed and thoughtful answers, I thought. So glad I got a chance to chat with him, and hope you guys enjoyed that as well.
Watch your dreams and savings grow with Royal Credit Union's 4.25% annual percentage yield 12-month certificate. Open now at any Royal office or online at rcu.org/certificate saver. Early withdrawal penalties could reduce earnings and principal. APY accurate as of 2/1/25. Insured by NCUA.
Finished today with an extended cooler. This is almost like what would probably be at the beginning of most episodes of Daily Delivery. It's kind of like dessert for dinner, dinner for dessert. Right now, let's talk Twins and Lynx here at the end. Twins beat Padres 11-4, and I got a confession to make right here. I got a confession. I was texting with Phil Miller, Star Tribune co-beat writer for the Twins, who's on this road trip covering the Padres series. After the Twins lost the first 2 games of the series, had lost 3 in a row. Things are getting kind of negative with them. They're 3.5 back of Cleveland going into Wednesday's game. And I'm texting with Phil because he's going to be on Friday's show. And we're trying to coordinate a time for us to record that segment Thursday night once he's back from the road trip, long flight back from San Diego, stuff like that. So we're coordinating all that, and we get that settled. And I text him back and I said, "Hey, thanks for all this. We'll talk Thursday. I have a feeling the Twins are going to get blown out tonight." And it was like half an hour or so before game time. It was something like that, and it felt to me like it was one of those times where they'd lost some close ones, had some things go against them, and then they had Simeon Woods Richardson pitching on Wednesday, and I'm thinking, he got a lot of hard contact against him last time out, even though he survived and pitched reasonably well. A lot of hard contact in that Rangers game. I'm thinking, okay, this is a time where he's maybe due for a clunker. He's been really good this season. He has been one of the people who have saved their season with all the pitching problems they've had, all the injuries they've had, especially of late. Simeon Woods Richardson has been a great asset for them. It just felt like the kind of game where they were going to come up against it, and all of a sudden everything was just going to get, they just try to get to the end of this 7-game road trip, get home, try not to have, just try to get healthy once you get home, try to get better once you get home. Instead, of course, they jump out to an 8-0 lead after the first few innings. So I have to text Phil. I'm like, actually, what I meant to say was I think the Twins are going to blow out the Padres, not get blown out. Ultimately, they win 11-4. Wood Richardson pitches another good game, 5 solid innings, only 1 run allowed. Hits up and down the lineup. Edouard Julien has 4 hits. That he could really use 4 hits, and those were big confidence boosters for him. Trevor Larnach has 4 hits. Royce Lewis, a big hit. Matt Wallner, a 3-run homer. Austin Martin, 3 RBIs, 2 hits. Everybody gets in on the act, and it just, it kind of snowballs from there. And like I said, the bullpen hangs on just fine. Good work. Okert comes back after Tuesday's disaster, pitches a clean 9th inning. So there you go, 11-4. Twins beat the Padres, and you're thinking, okay, how wrong can you be, right? That's me maybe not heeding my own advice, right? Like on Wednesday, I talked a little bit and wrote about how momentum in baseball, momentum in all sports is overrated. We overrate it in the media. Players probably have a sense of some elements of momentum, but probably like little subtle things. Like they can sense when an opponent is getting tired. They can sense when an opponent is getting kind of frustrated, things like that. But momentum from like game to game or like series to series, they hit reset really fast. These are the best of the best, especially at the pro level. They are all supremely confident, even if they have their moments of doubt. They are supremely confident athletes who don't sit there and think, oh man, things aren't going our way. Boy, we've lost 3 in a row. I guess this is just our time to lose another one. The momentum is against us. Athletes, by and large, do not think that way. They think next batter up, next time up, next anything, they are going to get it done because they are the best of the best. So this is me not heeding my own advice. This is me thinking, okay, Twins don't have any momentum right now. And, part of what I wrote about Wednesday was how that's a fallacy to a degree, and how what was more concerning about Wednesday's game was how it transpired in conjunction with the Cleveland game. Cleveland beat the Yankees in extra innings on Wednesday, and it was kind of this split screen where Twins are up on the Padres late. Cleveland looks like they're about to lose to the Yankees later. Very well could, because the Yankees have the winning run on third with only 1 out in the bottom of, I think it was the 11th, and it looks like, okay, all they need is like a fly ball, a little hit, a dribble, or even a well-placed chop or anything like that. They're going to win. If the Twins win, then all of a sudden the lead is down to 1.5. Instead, the Twins blow it. Yankees can't close it out. Cleveland ends up scoring like 6 runs in the top of the 12th. They win that game. So all of a sudden, what could have been 1.5 is 3.5. And I write, man, if you look back on this at the end of the year, remember this game, remember this swing, remember how Cleveland's bullpen is so much better than the Twins bullpen, because their ERA, their bullpen ERA going into Thursday is like 2.65, like a half run better than anybody else in baseball, more than a run better than the Twins, who are like middle of the pack. That is the difference between these teams. But the Twins this year are one of those teams that keeps defying logic to a certain degree. They keep defying what you might think will happen in a game, a series. Just when you think, man, they just don't have the horses. They don't have the players right now. Buxton's hurt. Correa's hurt. Joe Ryan is on the injured list. They've got no pitching depth. They're using all these rookies. Look at the lineup. Who's going to get a hit? They keep finding a way to get it done. They keep finding a way to win, even when you don't think they are going to win. They are just kind of one of those teams that is a good team that maybe is, as a collection, is just better than the sum of their parts. So I don't know. I don't quite know how to explain the phenomenon of this year's Twins other than to say they're better than I thought they would be. They're better. They keep performing better than I think they will. And yeah, even though Cleveland's got some of these advantages, especially with pitching, particularly with the bullpen, the Twins are right there. They keep hanging in there. Cleveland lost to the Yankees last night. The lead is down to 2.5. Now the Twins get an off day. They come home. They're going to play the Cardinals. They've got a lot of tough games coming up, but they're still right there. They're still right there in the division race. They're definitely right there in the wild card. And by the way, got a good letter today from a listener and a reader talking about even more important now without that pitching depth for them to win the division, not getting the wild card, because you're kind of down to your two trusted starters. We don't know when Joe Ryan's going to come back, but boy, that could be a season-ending injury that he had suffered, a couple weeks ago. You got to get that division win, because then all of a sudden you don't have to play that best of three. You don't potentially have to play the Yankees or the Orioles in the first round. You don't burn all your top pitchers and then have to go with the young guys in the second round, things like that. That all makes sense. That's been the goal all along. Winning the division gives you such an advantage now, especially if you were one of the top two division winners and get that bye, gives you such an advantage now over what it used to in the old expanded playoff format. So can they get it done? I should probably stop predicting against them, because they keep defying those odds. They keep going against what I think they will do. Simeon Woods Richardson, another great example of that. Like I said, a guy who keeps getting it done. I keep waiting for him to not get it done, because he had a couple rough starts. Then he had the one where he got hit kind of hard but got out of it. And you're thinking, okay, is the league figuring him out? Maybe they kind of are, but he still keeps getting it done. 5 innings, 1 run when they absolutely need it the most. Got out of a bases-loaded jam early in that game to keep it where it needed to be for the Twins to win this game. So a team that is maybe better than the individual pieces. The sum of the parts are better than the individual pieces, and maybe we have enough evidence after 100-plus games to finally accept that. Now, the Lynx, very much a similar team to the Twins in that they appear to be a true team. The sum of the parts is better than the individual pieces, and they showed that again on Wednesday night. A huge win at Vegas, 98-87, and it was kind of wasn't like an entirely a coast-to-coast win, but they kind of had that comfortable margin for most of the game. It dipped a little bit early in the second half, but they boosted it right back up. Las Vegas, defending champs. They've got Asia Wilson, probably one of the best players on the planet, if not the best player on the planet. They've got Kelsey Plum. They've got Jackie Young. All those players, contributed a bunch for the Aces. I think they had like 61 points combined. Las Vegas didn't get a ton from anybody else, though, aside from, one bench player. They got one bench player. Tiffany Hayes had a good game for them. Otherwise, didn't get a ton from everybody else. Didn't get a ton from the rest of their starters. Lynx, on the other hand, all 5 starters in double figures. Nafisa Collier, another solid game, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, had a steal, had a block. Just getting contributions. Courtney Williams, huge game, by the way, too. 22 points and 10 assists. That is a huge game. 7 rebounds. That is a massive game for Courtney Williams. Kayla McBride, who hasn't been shooting great out of the break, just 1 of 4 from three-point range. So it wasn't like Kayla McBride was on fire. As a team, though, 11 of 19 from three-point range. And Kent Youngblood and I talked about that on Wednesday's podcast. Is their three-point shooting sustainable? Is it the kind of thing where you look at it and you say, they've got 4 of the top 7 three-point shooters in the league by percentage. Is that sustainable, or is that going to regress at a certain point? Is it sustainable because the ball movement is just so good, the shots are so open that they're going to keep going in, or have they made a few more than they probably will the rest of the way, and that's going to hurt them? In this game, definitely feels like it was not a regression at all. 11 of 19. Lynx win that game. Part of a huge stretch, as we talked about with Kent. They've got the Aces again here at Target Center tomorrow night, and then Saturday, a back-to-back at home, playing the Indiana Fever after that Vegas game. Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark on the same night. They retire Maya Moore's jersey. So just a ton of big moments, big emotions, big opportunities for the Lynx. But they're 20-8 right now. 20-8. Looking every bit like a team that will contend in the playoffs. Got a big contribution in this game, by the way, from Maisha Hines-Allen, their new addition. They got her in a trade. She'd gone through one shoot-around, walk-through kind of practice, plays 14 minutes, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, fits right in with the Lynx to what they're kind of trying to do off the bench. Real nice complementary player, gives them just more depth there and more quality depth. So looking like a team that fancies itself a playoff contender. And I'll tell you what, beating the Vegas Aces in that game was a huge step towards that.
That will do it for me today. Like I said, State Fair appearances coming up. Let me run through them really quick in case you want to come out and say hi, in case you want to just come out and listen to some of these things. Next Monday, be out there at 11 a.m. for a live recording of the Access Vikings podcast. And then at 1 p.m. Monday, I'll talk to a whole bunch of players from PWHL Minnesota. I think 6 of them in all. So come join us on the Star Tribune State Fair stage for those interviews happening live. I'll probably play back at least some of the daily delivery interviews on the podcast once they're all said and done. But that is Monday's schedule. Tuesday, I will be out there interviewing some members of the Gophers softball team at 3 p.m. And then Kent Youngblood and I will be interviewing Gophers women's basketball coach Dawn Plitzowite at 5:40 p.m. on Tuesday night next week. So a couple of days I'll be out there for pretty long days. Hope you guys are out there as well, enjoying the fair, enjoying all the new food, enjoying the rides, enjoying whatever it is that makes the State Fair special to you. Maybe it's just the Star Tribune. Maybe you just love to be out there to see the Star Tribune. I would love to hear that as well, but I have a sense that it's not just us that you would be out there to see. And like I said, that'll do it for me today. Phil Miller, as I noted, will be on Friday's podcast to talk Twins. Until then, I'm Michael Rand, back at it again tomorrow.